Hello, everybody. Welcome to Go Global World. I can't believe this. It's already GGW Sharks, the 30th. So 30 events have been passed, and it's been a success because of you, because you support us, because you spread the word of mouth, and you recommend this event because it probably helps you. And I'm really grateful for all the investors who are participating and supporting startups, trying to connect. We had hundreds of matches so far, and thousands of people participated. So we are one network, and we are doing this all of us together. I'm really grateful for all of you being with us, and I'm hoping this opportunity will bring success and more business to all of you. Now, with that said, I don't want to waste your time on myself talking too much. I just present Go Global World quickly and present the investors, and we'll jump right into it. So, what is Go Global World? Go Global World is the platform for scouting to exit. It automates scouting for investors where investors meet and manage relevant startups. It's a technology where you have to just search through the database. The technology is actually analyzing all the potential deals and put in front of you the most relevant ones. And it's really simple. It's a one-pager style. For any project you see, you will see only key information you want to know, the elevator pitch of an entrepreneur. You will also ensure that they are verified and relevant. And entrepreneurs also can see your pages as you can share with them not only on the platform but outside the platform as the place where they can go, as they would go to your LinkedIn and they can apply for funding. Yes, it's powerful because we have technology on the back end that can actually do so much for supporting your analytics team or scouts team, or can do a lot of work without them. So your fund can find the most relevant project automatically by your criteria. And we're not stopping there. We always listen what investors want, how startups are raising, and we want to try to help as much as we can both. So you are impacting our product, and this is where this technology can bring you success in finding best deals, best co-investors, and for entrepreneurs find startups. But it's not only connecting, it's also data. It comes with a lot of insights of what exactly the projects can be of your interest, how relevant this connection to you, should you accept this connection or not. So we are in the business of connecting the most relevant, saving you a lot of time. In these days, we are wasting too much time on relevant people, and this technology can save you so much time, putting back to your calendar so you can reinvest back to your business. And this data is there to support you with some insights you probably cannot see or cannot have. Now, that's it. So I will share the links to join Go Global World in the chat here, but now we are starting GGW Sharks, the 30th event. And today's panel, we have amazing panel as always from around the world. David Schäffler, Yev Gelfand, Nadia Lazarova, Bill Reichert, and Nils Lange. So I will let the investors to present themselves in a second, but the rules are important, so let's discuss quickly the rules. Please keep yourself muted all the time, except for the investors, just because this is how the event will be organized the best way. And raise your hand to pitch if you want to pitch. You will have 2-minute elevator pitch without slides, and investors will have some questions to you. If you want to pitch, you gotta put your first name and last name here in your Zoom and a company name, so we can locate you, and keep your video on. So we want to make sure that's real people from our network, and this is how we verify and give you priority first. This is only for new startups with sales, evidence of IP, and a scalable business model. If you're a traditional business, please don't take time of entrepreneurs who are trying to raise capital from venture investors. I might have some hard stop for you if I see this is not a scalable model, it's not a startup or something. Please respect time. It's a 2 hours event maximum, and GGW members pitch first, then new startups, and then those who pitched before. And if you don't get the time to pitch, it's okay. We will let you pitch. Just shout out to us by email or in the chat, and to my team in the chat, and we will let you pitch on the next or the following events. And of course, network in the chat, because we have also investors here in the chat. They may be interested, so exchange contacts, support each other. Finally, how to make this ideal 2-minute elevator pitch? keep it as a story. Get to the point of exactly what you do and why you are unique. And of course, investors want to know something about your traction. If you pitched before, then tell us what has significantly changed since you pitched last time. And yeah, let's make some noise, guys. Please take screenshots of this event, of yourself, of us, and share it on social media and tag Go Global World on LinkedIn, on Twitter, wherever you want, and shout out about you are pitching at this global amazing event. So with that said, let's meet our panel of investors. I'm asking investors to keep their video on all the time because you're on the main stage. And let's start with Bill Reichert. Bill, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Appreciate it, and always enjoy these events. You do a great job pulling a great group of investors and entrepreneurs together. So everyone, my name is Bill Reichert, and I am a partner at Pegasus Tech Ventures. Pegasus is a global venture capital firm. We're based here in Silicon Valley, and we have offices around the world, and we have over $2 billion of assets under management. But we invest across the board. We invest in seed through late stage. We invest in pretty much all sectors of technology, IT, hardware, software, communications, AI, and all of that, plus material science. We do life science, health tech, med tech, clean tech. So we invest very broadly across the board, from seed startups through, we're investors in SpaceX, we're investors in SoFi, we're investors in a number of unicorns. So looking forward to hearing the pitches today, and let the show begin.
Thank you. And Bill, one of the sharks who are participating in this pitch event since December last year. So it's almost a year, and really, I'm so grateful you are with us and really excited to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nadia Lazarova, please be next.
Lovely to meet you. Actually, I'm representing Molten Ventures, which is a 2 billion assets management fund focusing primarily on investments in Europe and the UK. We were actually founded by Tim Draper and his sister fund, the Draper Network. Draper is operating in the US. In terms of investment strategies, so we're investing from mainly Series A up to IPO. We're also an LP in 70 of the top European funds. So I often look at deals that are at seed stage. In terms of sector focus, I'm focusing on fintech, edtech, and half of my time is actually spent on multiple sectors, so I'm a generalist. The fund is also generalist, but we primarily focus on investing in businesses that have either SaaS component or a tech component to them.
Perfect, great to have you. And Nadia is based in London, so we already have Silicon Valley, London, and there are other European places. So Nils is in Stockholm, as far as I remember.
Yeah, exactly. Stockholm. Cool. Time for reverse pitching. Thanks for the invitation. First of all, great to see so many people on the call. I work at Antler, which is a global day zero investor. Essentially, our core difference to a lot of other early stage companies is that we invest before other companies would. That is basically our day zero focus. And we are in it for the long run. So we invest in the early stages at day zero before you oftentimes even incorporate your company and continue investing. Our focus is on helping people find strong co-funding teams, and then afterwards we help succeed by scaling and introducing you to other investors. So we have 28 offices around the world at the moment. I'm started on Singapore, and I'm located in the Stockholm office. But if some of you are from the US, we currently have 3 offices there as well, in Boulder, Houston, and New York City as well. Great to be on the call, and looking forward to some great pitches.
Lots of offices around the world, investing in pre-seeds. Sounds exciting. So it's at 2023, it's really some music for our ears. It's very hard to find investors that investing in pre-seed. So great to have you. Amazing. We love Antler, yeah, and thank you for being with us. Yev Gelfand, please be next.
I'll help round out the global footprint. So I'm based in New York, in Midtown Manhattan. Thanks, Daniel. A real honor to be here. I absolutely love doing this. Hopefully, will be helpful to many of these intrepid entrepreneurs. My background, I studied biomedical engineering and econ at Yale University, then went to BlackRock, where I spent 15 years, including helping to found a business there that went on to have a successful IPO, PennyMac, and also a SaaS business within BlackRock that is now at about $1 billion of ARR. So love starting businesses, incubating, scaling them, and again, love giving back to the entrepreneurial community because you guys are the ones doing the hard work. Now I'm at Alumni Ventures, total generalist. We invest across stages, sectors, geographies, really open to everything, open to hearing all of your great ideas.
All right, fantastic. And great to have you. Alumni Ventures is a very active investor, according to the reports I've seen so far for the 2023, and great to have you with us. David Schäffler, you are the one who will be opening our global session of GGW Sharks the 30th. No pressure. Please tell a few words about yourself.
Yeah, hey everyone. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate this. I'm calling in from Frankfurt, Germany, so I think Europe is well placed in this event, which is really cool. I just recently switched funds. When I was asked to be on a judge in here, I was at Hanover Ditch Investments, which is the corporate venture capital arm of HG. Thailand is one of the largest insurance groups in Europe. We invest globally in the US, UK, and Israel in any startup that was relevant or is relevant to the German VC fund. But I'll just pretend that I'm really interesting stuff to my ex-colleagues, which I'm still really fond of. So really looking forward to have this.
Perfect. David, you're muted, but you got your connection is a little bit slow. Just be aware of that. And congratulations with the new job. So hopefully it will bring you more success. Let's get started, guys. With that said, I think this is the time. And the first person to present, let me see what my team has found. Mike Sedofiev, if shout out if you're ready. Mike.
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, you got 2 minutes. Go for it.
Yes. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Mike, CEO of DataTerra.ai, a one-click solution to convert any file or website to a spreadsheet or CRM. Salespersons and analysts and founders, actually, myself, we spend up to 5 hours a week just manually copy-pasting data to the CRM or spreadsheets or whatever. And this costs around 10K USD per year for each employee of the company. With DataTerra.ai, you can convert absolutely any data source, websites, files, databases, messengers, and emails, whatever, to the spreadsheet or to the CRM in just one click, thanks to our large language model. No code, no learning, it's just a magic. Our market segment is growing quickly with 12% annual growth rate. We're working with business development here in the US mostly. We are aiming to disrupt $500 million market, part of this segment with 100K paying users. And the total addressable market is quite huge with 15 millions of people in sales and business development and related verticals. We have flexible business model with 10x LTV to customer acquisition cost ratio. We work with a classic software as a service approach, but also with enterprise clients, we go with pay-as-you-go format. And we tested the acquisition cost for social media marketing. It's around 250 USD. For last 2 months, we have been testing beta testing with 15 pilots and do have more than 450 users in our platform. It's working, it's launched, and we got a respectful product of the day number 2 and product of the week number 3 on the product hunt just at the end of September. We projecting to hit ARR 200 million USD by 2026. We actually, me and my co-founder, we
Mike,
have suffering from this. Yes.
You passed time. Please wrap it up.
Yes. So I'm collecting safe 250K USD to gain 30K MRR.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's ask some questions to Mike. Do you guys have any questions?
I thank you, Mike. Again, it's always toughest to be the first one up, so good job. So but okay, what I heard 450 users, but then you said pilots, and then you said 10x LTV, to CAC. But how can you have LTV if they're pilots, if they're not paying, whatever? So I'm a little bit confused. Where are you really in terms of your traction, in terms of paying customers? And what is the pay? What is the price subscription per seat per month? What do you help me a little bit more with your numbers?
Yes, thank you, Bill, for this question. So our base subscription is 50 USD per month for like basic user, for the usual subscription, let's say, not tailored. And for customer acquisition cost, we just tested with the clients. We do not do wide scale marketing so far. And the clients 450, which I mentioned, they are on freemium because it's the end user tool, very consumer tool, and we want to collect the customer base.
Okay, no, that makes sense. I just didn't get how you could have an LTV if you don't have paying customers. That was my confusion. Okay, but okay. So who is your ideal customer? So is it small business? Is it big business? Is it marketing departments? Is it sales teams?
It's the head of sales or head of marketing research. These are the two major ICPs we're targeting. Actually, yes. And it's mostly small business. I work mostly with startups so far. And marketing agencies sometimes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other more questions?
Can you just clarify what the market size was? I heard $500 million market size, but I may have misheard. Can you just clarify what you see as the market size?
The segment which we are targeting with projected 100K paying users is around $500 million. So this is our aim, and the total addressable market is around 15 million of people in the US related business development, which is around 75 billion USD, more or less.
Okay.
All right. Are there any sharks interested to connect with this entrepreneur? Are you guys in or out?
Do you have a demo? I mean, so at this point, obviously, if we're freemium, we could try it out, see how it works, right?
It works. It should be on every desktop. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, but you won't tell me if an email is valid, will you? You'll just scrape it out of whatever I've got, but you won't tell me if it's valid. Is that fair? Am I getting this right?
I'm not touching data. Data is only up to my users.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Dataterra.com, right?
.ai.
Dataterra.ai. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. So any of the investors, are you guys interested or not? So are you in or out? Anyone? Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Then we're moving on to the next entrepreneur, which is Farid. Farid, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, you got 2 minutes. Please go for it.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Farid. I'm originally from Azerbaijan. I already did 3 exits. I currently hold the largest ever exit done in Azerbaijan. I own the online payment company. I own something like Antler, but it's my own personal and it's not that big. And I'm going to present you one of the startups that I have in my portfolio. We are currently in our bridge round. Out of $800,000 bridge round, we only have 200,000 left. And my presentation is very simple. I'm going to play a video. This is Tim Draper testing our material.
Very good.
You should. I mean, I can't see anything. I don't know. Can anybody
So
see it?
basically, it is a material that doesn't burn, literally doesn't burn, whatever fire you put on it. Initially, the idea was to create the first new fireman suits for our firemen in the United States. But now we are actually wrapping electric vehicle batteries. We're talking to Lucid, we're talking to Volvo, we're talking to GM right now, and we're planning to be in every electric vehicle that is going to be produced. We also want to do retrofit wrapping home storage batteries. There's application in space, there's application in Boeing and Airbuses, there's application in defense. The total market, addressable market that we're targeting right now is $164 billion, just for you to know. It is originally from Georgia, the startup from there. It's my investment from there because I met them there. But it's an American company, it's a Delaware company. We're talking to all German electric vehicle companies. We're talking to almost all United States, Koreans and Japanese, no Chinese. We only have $200,000 left in our bridge round. And after the bridge round, we're planning to open a new round, but we're already talking to some really big VCs who can write $1 million checks for that round. It's LG Fund is there, and we're also having a distribution contract as well as manufacturing contracts. Surseal, which is one of the biggest manufacturing companies in the United States, is having pilot with us, and also the Parker, which is one of the biggest auto part producers in the United States, is in our in the conversations that we're having. We passed every lab test with 3 times better result that anything comes to us. Like there's no competition. That's
you pass time, please wrap this up.
I'm done.
You're done.
So
all right. Yeah, Sharks, do you have any questions to Farid?
Yeah, I have a cool question. So you mentioned something like Antler, and then that this company is in your portfolio. So is this a company that you founded, or is this a company in the portfolio of the fund that you invest out of?
So the way it works is this. We were very similar with Antler. So I have my own personal money. I source startups from Georgia, Azerbaijan, Central Asia. The startup must have moonshot idea, should be $1 billion something. I put my first $50,000. They have to create prototype with that. After they have a prototype, I create American company. They move to United States. I help their visa. Everybody's in America. And I help them to hire additional CEOs, CFOs, all that kind of people if we need to. So we bring in external people there. I become an advisor, which is watching what's going on. And we go to market from here. We have 5 startups in our portfolio. That's all my bandwidth. I'm not making anything new. I'm just making sure they make it. So at the moment, the time permitted for me to pitch for you guys, and I'm doing it too. I'm also attending sometimes big funding meetings or big business development meetings and so on too.
Yeah.
So how much
hands-on
do you open?
This startup. I'm very hands-on involved with this stuff. Yes, Nils. Sorry.
Yeah. So Farid, I met these guys in Georgia.
I know, Bill. I'm aware. I'm aware of it. They won second place after you guys voted for the guy who does with the auctions. The guy's Vamek became second place.
Okay. All right. Wow. Yeah.
So, I mean, your friend was Colin, who's a friend of mine. I know everybody in Georgia. Everybody. I know you personal too. We met once. I attend almost every Startup World Cup final.
Okay, let's hear the questions from the Sharks.
Right. So you've pivoted now. Well, no, I think they mentioned batteries the last time I heard, right? So, but I mean, again, remind me the name of the company because I'm
Elevent Technologies.
What? One more.
Elevent Technologies.
Elevent. That's it. Right. Okay. Okay. No, I remember this. But they're pivoting and they're still trying to find their sweet spot, right? But you
can say we already found it because we already did some pilots. There's an Estonian bus company called Aui. We wrap their batteries and we know that we're protecting. We're completely containing the fire. So imagine your Tesla catches fire and nothing happens to Tesla. You just remove the battery, put a new one, go with it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, Jeff. I'll go next, and I'll show my cards. I'm interested in learning more. 2 quick questions and a piece of respectful feedback. The questions are: 1, what's the IP portfolio here? Is there patent protection or what other kind
US patent protected, and we're also doing PCT at the moment to protect ourselves every place where the producers EV except China.
Okay,
So
great.
Asian,
Second,
European countries, everything that you can imagine.
perfect.
And Russia,
Second
of course.
question, does this involve, you don't have to reveal anything proprietary, but does it involve any forever chemicals, which are usually used in fire and
So
heat resistant? No?
no,
Okay.
no chemicals, and we passed Volvo's world climate environmental whatever test already. So basically, we're clean.
Okay, so I'm interested in learning more. I'm in. My piece of respectful feedback is just walk a fine line. You speak eloquently and you know your stuff, but walk a fine line between coming across with confidence and poise, which you do, but make sure you stop short of arrogance because it can be off-putting. I know it's not your intention, but it can come across that way.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, so congratulations, one shark is in. What about the rest of the sharks? Are you guys in or out? Anyone interested?
I would be quite interested as well. Actually, Yev asked the couple of questions I had, so I would be more than interested to have a quick chat.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Thank you
Two
so
sharks.
much.
Okay, thank you. All right, with that said, Farid, congratulations, two sharks are in. We will connect you after the event today or tomorrow. And thank you so much. And the next person to present is, just a second, let me see, my Dion Tinker. Dion, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you.
All right, go for it. You got 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Dylan Tinker, CFO of Moxie. I'd like to introduce everyone to our amazing climate tech building material company. Now we've made a breakthrough after $10 million plus of R&D that can do a number of things. We can reduce a gigaton of CO2, which is 4% of total, save lives, 50% margins, and scale to 100 million in revenue. We can do this without CapEx. We're raising a small round for machinery for a very large licensing deal that we're conducting. Now, the largest undisrupted sector in the world is building materials. $450 billion, it's siding, panels, roofing materials. These products in the market are horrible. They catch fire, they mold, and they're susceptible to insects and water damage. So the big breakthrough is that we are the first in the world, after many years of research, to use mineralization, which is petrification, like petrified wood, to make a new material. And we have an industrial process to produce building materials with this approach. So mineralization has 4 benefits: superior performance, it's fireproof, mold-proof, insect-proof, technically a ceramic, like this. It will not burn. This looks like a regular plywood piece, but it's technically a stone, and you can't burn it even in 1,000-degree heat. It has very inexpensive production, below current materials, similar to plywood, and any fiber plant can be used as an input. We are in licensing discussions with the 2 top roofing companies in the world. We've had conversations about roughly over 5 to 10% switching to our material. We are currently being paid. We soon should be paid about $100,000 just to co-design our roofing panels. They've told us that our material is better, greener, cheaper, and easier to work with than everybody else's. Eventually, we can take 10% of the addressable market. And we also reduce CO2 because the carbon in the fiber, which normally will degrade, is actually sequestered in this material. So people are paying a lot.
Please wrap this up. You got your past time. Sorry.
Yep, that's it. I would just say that people are paying a lot to sequester carbon these days without any benefit to the bottom line. We are a product that can sequester carbon in the worst carbon emitting sector out there, which is building materials.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Dear Sharks, are you in or out? Any questions?
So Dylan, I mean, I maybe I misheard you, but you are not the first in the world to mineralize carbon producing products. I'm not. You said you were the first in the world
We're the first in the world to sell it as a building material product, which has through and through end-to-end mineralization.
Okay,
and we've
that's again, you're I think I get what you're saying. I mean, obviously lots of people are mineralizing carbon dioxide into concrete and
yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's misleading. The way you phrased it was a little bit misleading, but I get what you're doing. I get what you're doing. When you say it is cheaper, are you counting on subsidies as your math for doing your math, or you're saying it's cheaper? You're saying it's cheaper than plain old ceramic tiles or any other tile material. You're saying, is that what you're saying?
Correct. We've talked to the largest panel company in the US, the largest roofing, and they've both confirmed that.
What are your margins? What are your margins, excluding incentives or rebates? What are your margins?
So a full facility is $50 million. So historically, we were going to build our own facility, but now we have interest from the industry, so we'll license it and get a 10% royalty. And another 30% is we buy the input ingredients and we sell it back to them.
Okay.
So
what are your input ingredients?
It's any fiber. So we can use any plant in the world, any green fiber, magnesium and polyphosphate. And they're both inert and safe, and that's it.
Okay. I'm sorry, Niels, you wanted to jump in? Is that what I
No, I was just wondering a little bit about the IP here as well. Is there any patent related to the product that you're producing, or can it be reproduced by other companies as well?
Well, mineralization and fossilization occurs in nature. We have a proprietary process. We've built a moat around it with 6 patents that have been written, and we will file. We have 1 existing patent, and we have a material patent. It would take someone, we guess, 5 to 7 years to replicate our process, but then they would run into our patents.
Mm-hmm. Quick question here. You mentioned roofing, which understandably is your focus area right now. What kind of testing or traction or progress have you made in the cladding market? We all remember the horrible London fire from a couple of years ago. Those materials will need to be replaced. Have you tested kind of the fire retardant processes? Seem really good. How about insulation and the other kind of tensile strength? Are they comparable for cladding uses or no?
Yes. So the largest SIP, structural integrated panel provider in the world, is Kingspan Unideck. We have a letter from them that they will buy as much as we can produce. And SIPs are usually foam and a material on one side, material on the other side. It's a wall, you put it up, you cut a hole in it. The problem with SIPs these days is that they're all plywood, and on the outside, they degrade. So the SIP market is our 4th big market. Our lead scientist was the head of product engineering, was a lead product specialist at Kingspan Unideck. That's one of the markets, and it's ideal for that because we can make it thin, and then it's a skin for a SIP. For very quick homes or quick.
Okay. Tell you what, I'm a thumbs up. I'm interested in learning more. Like the pitch, like the product. You're probably a tad too early for investment from us. So I don't think we'll invest at this point because we have to see where those roofing pilots go. But I'm interested in learning more and connecting you with other earlier stage investors.
Fantastic. So 1 shark is in. So congratulations.
No, and I need to understand more what you're doing, Dylan. So yes, I would be interested in if you could send a deck. That'd be helpful.
I will do.
Connect. All right, fantastic. 2 sharks are in. We will connect you with.
I might be in as well. Quick question. So in terms of margins, it's around 50% for those trials, roughly. That's what you're looking at.
If we build the facility ourselves, it's a 55% EBITDA margin.
Okay, long term. Okay, yeah, I would be happy to get a deck.
David?
Yeah, I also feel it's a good idea, but unfortunately not relevant to what we invest in. So sorry, but what I heard it makes a lot of sense without me being an expert in the space.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Then we're moving on. Appreciate that. Congratulations, Neil. 3 sharks are in, and we will connect you after the event today or tomorrow. The next person to present, Andrei Delonak. Andrei, are you ready?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Andrei. I'm CEO and founder fintech startup Karta.me. We all use different bank cards for our daily purchases, but this card only identifies us as a payer to the retailer, not to the only to bank, not to the retailer. To get reward from loyalty programs, we need additional card, loyalty card, or use another way to identify ourselves to get bonuses. What we do? We create a Karta.me mobile application where the user registers and receives his code, Karta.me ID. Next, we integrate Karta.me ID and user data into all retailers' loyalty programs and in the bank card in the same time, and improve the common bank card into a universal loyalty card with payment function. Karta.me have been named Visa Brand of the Year for record sales of our card. We receive revenue from Visa for each active card, from bank, percent from transaction on our card, from in-app advertising, and from our partners retailers for customer data transferred to them. Currently, we have integrated 30 biggest retailers in 3 countries, attracted 200,000 users, and generate $100,000 in revenue. Currently, we are participating in the accelerator of one of the biggest world corporation, IBM Corporation, and in the one of the biggest bank in Saudi Arabia and MENA, Riyadh Bank Accelerator. Our main goal to have a Karta.me in every wallet, both physical and digital. Thank you so much.
Well done, Andrei. It's right on time. Congratulations. Well done. Dear Sharks, your questions.
I think my first quick question, being located in Stockholm, is how does this relate to Klarna's products and what they are doing? What is the main difference?
We create only one ID. It's a digital customer passport, one ID for all loyalty programs, and integrate this ID in all loyalty program and in the bank card. And our user need only one-time load mobile application and have opportunity to join for all loyalty programs. It's one key for all loyalty programs. Simple and quickly.
So do you then partner with all those retail providers, or how does it work? Because I'm focusing actually on fintech. So you do have a rising competition from A banks, B card providers such as Payhawk, Spendesk, some of the unicorns in Europe. And you also have direct competition from we're investor in Revolut. So basically you've got Revolut, Monzo, neobanks that are doing similar service. And on top, the raising trend is you've got Bankable and so on, a few startups who are based both in the US and Europe, who are actually looking at analytics and getting data, customer data that banks and fintech providers can use. So my main question here is, what are the competitive advantages? And B, do you partner with those retailers, or do you mainly partner with the banks?
We have 2 kinds of partners retailers and partners banks. We attract users from the market, from open market, create ID and send it and sign inside in the loyalty programs and in the bank card. In this case, we have contracts with a lot of retailers and with 1 or 2 or 3 banks. Our main competitors, it's a loyalty card aggregators, mobile application where the user can make a photo of the loyalty card and save it, and the bank brand cards. When the bank have contracts with different retailers and pay the users some rewards, cashback for the payment. But our main interesting point that our card identify the payer for the retailers. It's very important for retailers know your customer, because when you show for retailers photo of the loyalty card or use a bank card with loyalty inside, in this case, retailers don't understand the person who make a payment.
Yeah.
But we connect the banks and the retailers around the customer. In our case, customer first.
And quick question, you said 3 countries. Which are those 3 countries, 3 markets you're operating?
Now we operate in Belarus. We start business here, and we open Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Moldova.
Okay.
And start our business in Poland, but we don't have attraction at this time in Poland. But I think that 2 or 3 months it will be.
Okay, so your secret is you're where the other guys aren't yet. So that makes sense. That makes sense. But obviously there's a ton of competition in North America and in Western Europe. But if you can grab these other markets, then maybe they buy you out in a few years, and God bless. That could
we attract investment. We're looking for investment for developing in the market of the Western Europe and in North America, because these markets target for us a lot of modern retailers, a lot of loyalty programs, a lot of bank mobile application, a lot of cards, loyalty cards and bank cards, and people have a problem with loyalty programs. It's target market for us.
Okay. Thank you.
Sharks. Final questions. Are you in or out? Anyone interested to connect with Andrei?
I'd also be out, having been invested in a couple of so from German and Western Europe, being invested in a couple of loyalty startups. I think it's really hard to break competition in Germany, I guess. And I think that's probably true for Western Europe. So I don't know, it could be worthwhile to think about strengthening the position in the markets that you're actually in, and as Bill suggested, get the existing ones to buy you out in the long run.
Thank you so much. But David, a small talk. We are not a loyalty program. We are not loyalty program. We only integrate loyalty programs and bank cards.
Okay.
We are provider of yes.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. So any other investors? All right. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Andrei, for your presentation and for the energy you have. Appreciate that. And we are moving on.
Thank you. Just as a kind of an advice as well, I would actually be more inclined, because we're looking at the CE region in general, I'll be more inclined to look into that if you're focusing particularly on the region. That's the first point. And then there's a new bank called FinTech Farm, who has been pretty successful in Kazakhstan, Vietnam. I believe they're gonna very soon enter the Belarus market as well. You may potentially be interested in partnering with them. Just even a general chat.
Thank you, Nadia, so much.
Thank you. Nadia, did I get you correctly? You want a connection or not?
For now, so if you are really interested in expanding into Western Europe and the US, I do believe you actually have a lot of competitors, and by competitors, not direct competitors, but companies that are doing something similar, and it's very easy for them to undercut you in a way. But if you're focusing on the CE region primarily, and especially CE plus Asia, there's definitely opportunity there. For now, it wouldn't be within our investment strategy.
All right. Okay, so no sharks are interested yet, but if any, we will be connecting you, Andrei, with them, of course. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I just want to be transparent why I'm out, and it's just painful for me because I'm actually from Belarus. But the downside of having 1,000 portfolio companies is we often find ourselves conflicted. In this case, I have a portfolio company that's in very close competition, not where you are, but that's why I can't participate in good conscience. But all the best to you.
Thank you so much. We incorporate in Delaware and USA, our main company in the USA, and we attract money in the
Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Andrei. Great job. You're like excellent entrepreneur. Appreciate that. We're moving on, and the next presenter would be Chris Liptak from Australia. Chris, are you ready? It's very late at his place, and we're looking. Chris, are you there? You got 2 minutes to pitch.
Hello, yes, so I'm definitely here at the moment. So it's very early in the morning. It's 4 a.m. So in regards to that, so I did a pitch last week. I'll try and be respectful and keep it within the 2-minute time. What I've done is I've created what's called Instacook. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's about the size of of an average tissue box. What it does, it's got a 26 standard battery, about 26 minutes. Okay, it can be recharged by USB port, power point, 12-volt charger. Also, it has a solar panel that we've got here. That's so 3 hours worth of sunlight per day. Will cook you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What I'm aiming for at this point, I've also created a 40-minute battery. Okay, also an hour battery. So basically, it takes about 5 to 6 minutes to actually cook a meal. Scrambled eggs in about 90 seconds. In regards to that, what I'm aiming for is aiming to get my prototype. I've had a lot of interest. Get my prototype to market. So I'm looking at about 350 grand for basically 35% equity and 15% royalties. Now, in regards to that, I'll be quick. Basically, so anyone can recharge it. It basically has that. It has a detachable lid that goes on. You can cook. You can put last night's dinner in there, put it in your bag. Basically, it's aimed for, I want to get a military contract, because what I believe with this, you can basically carry it around in your backpack, so that soldiers can actually have a hot meal. So it's aimed at people who live in smaller areas, small like units. It also for people that are going camping, students, elderly people who don't have cooking facilities. Also, so that's basically what I'm aiming for at this stage. But it works quite well. One thing, sorry, all the other cookers work at about, you're in America, so about 260 Fahrenheit, which is about 130 degrees. This one does 220, which is about 430 Fahrenheit, and also can reach up to 530 Fahrenheit, which is about 280 degrees. Everyone else on the market can only heat or cook up to 135 degrees Celsius, and this is actually the only world's first basically handheld item to handheld cooker. I don't know if you can see that. Then you can cook stir fry, you can cook from scratch, you can cook everything.
Chris, you pass time, please wrap this up.
You pass time, that's all good, not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Great presentation.
Live board?
Yes.
Maybe I didn't quite catch that. How long is the battery life for?
Okay, so the standard battery that comes with the pack, it's quite small. This runs for 26 minutes, so you can cook. It takes about 5 to 6 minutes to cook a meal. I've also got the 40-minute battery, which you've got, and also a 1-hour battery. But it comes standard with the 26 battery. It can be recharged by, sorry to repeat myself, it can be recharged by PowerPoint. It can be recharged by this solar recharger. Basically 3 hours worth of sunlight basically will cook you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's a 30-watt folds out portable what's it called, a solar recharger. Fits perfectly into a laptop bag. But in regards to that, so yeah, 26 minutes, 40 minutes, or a 1-hour battery, whichever they want to purchase, but it comes standard with the 26.
And what margins are we looking at as well as price?
Okay, so to produce it, it's anywhere, depending on the quality, anywhere from $35 up to $49. Recommended retail price probably about $149, and sales at about wholesale about $149, and recommended retail price about $199.
Ouch. Yeah.
All right.
That's okay.
Nils?
I thought I'd keep it short this time.
Nils, you have a question?
Yeah. So first of all, I think just 3 things. So first of all, maybe some just thoughts from my side regarding the pitch. So maybe it took a while for me to really understand what it is you're building. So if you could maybe kind of start off with, this is what we're building, and these are the different battery units we're using to charge it, for example. I think they could be useful.
Yes.
That's point number 1.
Yeah.
2 and 3 are a couple questions. So first of all, you mentioned you're primarily targeting people who do not have cooking facilities. Is that correct? And then point number 3 and question number 2 is what's the price point as well? So I understood that already, but just, yeah, exactly. So who are you selling this to primarily?
Okay, so I used to live in a share house. A lot of uni students have actually wanted to purchase it, and I was like, "Where can I go buy it?" And I was like, "It doesn't exist yet; it's still in the prototype stage." Now, in regards to that, a lot of people, like, we live in small units here in Sydney, Australia. That's where I am. We don't really have cooking facilities. Basically, we live in small units. Where you can basically, this is the thing, you can cook it anywhere, anytime. You can be on a work site. You can do it at a picnic to mix it up. So basically, I'm aiming at uni students. I'm aiming at the military because it'd be good for them to carry around their backpacks. I'm also aiming at basically anyone who wants to cook at their desk at work, because there's not enough time for them to get to the microwave because there's 50 people there, one microwave. It doesn't require a PowerPoint, and you can cook it anywhere. All other prototypes out there only get up to 130 degrees, and they're not battery powered. They actually has to be plugged into a 12-point
Thank you,
cord.
Chris. Appreciate that. Dear Sharks, final questions. Anyone in or out? Anyone interested? Okay. Appreciate that.
Appreciate your energy.
Great
No
job.
problem.
It's 4 a.m. In Australia. We really appreciate that.
Very sleepy. Yeah, that's okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the next person to present is Andrew Kislok from Alumni. Andrew, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Go for it. 2 minutes.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here. The best brands in the world, one of the best brands in the world, like Toyota and Nestle, use Emonomy to allocate their media spends based on consumer emotions. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, the brands need to be sticky. It's pretty obvious. They bombard us with ads across Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, in hopes we'll remember them. But the chances are these ads are just noise. In fact, more than 80% of all ads, of all media spends are perceived as informational noise, and brands waste more than $200 billion annually running unmemorable campaign without any effect on their buyers. And the brands know that emotions and consumer attention are the signals of the ad relevancy of whether this ad is noise or not, but there is no data in the market to tell brands which ads are perceived as informational noise and which ads are perceived as something meaningful and relevant for people. I am a neuroscientist who has been studying consumer behavior for over 10 years, and with my team of PhDs and technologists, we created Emonomy. In Emonomy, we combine computer vision with artificial intelligence and marketing AI, and our platform helps media planners to allocate their media spends across channels, audiences, and the ads themselves. So brands understand which their spends are really working and increase the emotional response of consumers, and which doesn't generate informational noise. So brands who work with Emonomy can expect up to 2x increase in the return of advertising spends, saving them millions of dollars. And we charge 15% out of those savings. It represents a $10 billion opportunity in overall $200 billion, and we are one of the first companies in the world who are capturing it. We're already backed by 500 startups. Right now, we're launching our solution together with a few major brands like Toyota, Citibank, and 5 more. We're raising a new round, and I will finish here, I guess.
Well done. Thank you so much. Dear Sharks, do you have any questions to Andrew?
What's the round? How much are we raising?
Yes, we're raising a small round right now for $400,000.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
So pilot, and what I heard is you're piloting with a few brands. That's kind of where you are in terms of, I mean, and so you're asserting a sort of ROI. What sort of data do you have in terms of your actual impact?
Yeah, so we have two, let's say, data sources. So the first one, the one we're collecting. So we're collecting the data about consumer attention and emotions from the target audience of the brands. This is actual emotions. We're capturing it with web cameras from computers while people browsing in YouTube or in Facebook or wherever else. And we're predicting the real world outcomes, which are the performance metrics, the revenue increase, and the brand awareness metrics. So basically what we're doing before the budget is spent, we're predicting which ads and which channels are gonna increase brand awareness and brand metrics and which are not. in a few weeks before it's done.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, what you're saying is, create a few ads, test them using your technology / focus, it's like focus group testing, release the ads into the wild and see how they do, right? That's what but in terms of then tracking whether or not, it's the emotion or it's the content, you don't really know, or do you? I don't know. I suppose you're capturing both. But there are, there are a bazillion companies that have been trying to do this for a bazillion years. What am I misunderstanding? Because the idea of capturing, the emotion of the viewer is not a new idea.
Not at all.
What am I understanding?
Yeah, capturing consumer emotions is not a new idea at all. And I know like hundreds of companies doing emotion capturing. What we're doing, we are the first company in the world which capture consumer emotions in the context in the YouTube or in Facebook for a specific video ad. All the companies which been doing things before us, they've been analyzing video ads in isolation of media channel, without assuming that this video ad gonna work in the same way in YouTube and television and TikTok and Instagram. So we're the first.
Well, doing it in an artificial environment, right? I mean,
no, this is a real environment.
So wait, who's going to turn their camera on? I'm confused. Who's going to turn their camera on while they're watching YouTube? What are you saying?
Yeah, yes. So this is basically the most important part here. That we're doing it not in an artificial environment. This is in a real YouTube, in a real Facebook, in which we replace ads to the ads we want to analyze. Yeah. So people from our panel, we have 5 million people across the globe. They share their data with us. We call it browse to earn. They're getting paid for this data sharing. So they use their own YouTube as they usually do, but at the same time, their web camera is turned on, and also the ads which are shown in their YouTube are ads.
You've built a panel. So you create a panel of people who promise they'll turn on their camera when they're watching YouTube. That's what you've done.
We created technology which captures emotions in different media channels. That's right. The panel which we use, this is not entirely our panel. We have different panels in our network, let's say, which gives us an access to different people. So we do not own the panel, to be clear.
Okay, but you're using panels. You're not using consumers in the wild. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yes, but they're as wild as possible. So this is the best.
You're paying them though, right? Are you paying them?
Yes, we're paying them.
It's an operating expense for your business.
Yeah.
Excuse me, what did you say?
It's an operating expense for your business to compile the panel.
Yes, okay. This is at around 10% from our price.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. Understood. Okay.
All right. Are there more questions from the Sharks? Anyone interested to connect? Okay. Thank you so much, Andrei. Great presentation and cool technology, really interesting learnings. Well, we're moving on, and the next presenter is James Martin. James, if you're ready, shout out, and you got 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm James Martin, CEO of Easy Clinic. With our AI digital nurse, we aim to help overstretched nurses save the lives lost of preventable causes by ensuring that they don't miss medical emergencies, even when they're out of the room. Every year, 3 million people die from preventable causes in hospitals. Why? Because nurses can't be everywhere. They're managing tasks away from the bedside 40% of the time. The issue is personal for us, as we lost our grandmother and almost lost our dad to preventable incidents while they were in the ICU. Our solution is an AI predictive patient monitoring system, or your new AI nurse. This isn't just about a bunch of sensors. It's a digital assistant giving nurses a continuous second pair of eyes. How does it work? Using 3D vision and vital sign monitoring, the AI detects the slightest warning signs that indicate oncoming events, such as when a patient is about to remove their oxygen supply or early signs of a heart attack. And it immediately notifies them in real time with the fail-safe alert. Our MVP aims to cut preventable deaths by 30% in year 1 and 80% in year 2. We also project to decrease healthcare costs related to these incidents by at least 60%. Why is this urgent? Well, we're heading towards the nursing crisis. By 2025, we'll be short 2.1 million nurses in the US alone. Why us? We're a team that has a CEO with previous startup success, a 3D imaging genius from an acquired startup, a renowned physician informatics specialist, and a top-tier medical AI expert. What's next? We have trials set for regulatory approval at University of Michigan, Mayo Clinic, and Cleveland Clinic. We're raising $4.1 million to cover this and our go-to-market initiatives to begin in 12 months with a projected revenue of $13 million in our first year.
Perfect.
So this is more than an investment in technology. It's an investment in life itself. Thank you.
Thank you. A little bit past time, but thank you so much. Dear Sharks, your questions.
Just really, I'm sorry. One more time. How many you're in pilot mode with how many? Where are you now? I missed that. Forgive me.
Oh, yeah. We're doing basically it's our clinical AI studies so that we can collect the data to show the effectiveness for regulatory approval with University of Michigan, Cleveland Clinic, and Mayo Clinic.
Okay, so 3 partners. And do you need FDA approval for this, or what's the
technically for the MVP we don't. The MVP is going to be primarily focused on the like safety events, so more physical actions.
Right.
However, hospital systems don't want to touch it unless it has some sort of regulatory seal of approval on it.
And yeah, what is the regulatory seal of approval for this?
Well, for the US, it's FDA. Each country has their own regulatory approval.
But is this a 510K kind of class 1? Where does this fit? Yeah.
For the MVP, it's 510K. For the second phase, which will be the full scope of different health events like heart attack, stroke, that is our lawyer. Basically, we're looking at potentially a de novo on that one.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Yeah, I'd like to find out more. If you've got a deck you could share, I'd be very interested in understanding more about this.
All right, congratulations. Once Shark is in, we will connect you. What about the rest of the panel?
I would be interested as well, in case you have or you're planning to have some European/UK exposure in the future.
Perfect.
Can you give me 1 or 2 more just quick use cases? You mentioned a few. Just give me a couple others to help me size the applications.
Yeah. So on the safety event side, when a patient's about to remove their oxygen tube, the IVs, patient falls, aggressive or violent behavior towards staff. On the morbidity side, we're looking at seizures, convulsive and non-convulsive, heart attack, stroke. We're looking at ways for sepsis, cardiac failure in general, pulmonary failure, pretty much anything that could be, put the patient at risk for harm or death. We should be able to do.
All right.
I'd love to take a look at the deck as well.
All right, fantastic. 3 Sharks saying. So we have David and Nils left. Maybe we got jackpot today.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, it's not my relevance as an investor, unfortunately, but I just talked to a company, a really cool startup that has a lot of nice sensors that could be really complementary. So I'd like to receive the deck and maybe connect you later on if that's relevant to your interest.
4 Sharks, I mean. All right. So what about Nils? This is only on you now, Nils. Just if you get a jackpot or not today.
I have to be the odd one out today.
Yeah, you're out, right? Oh no! Oh, all right. Fantastic.
But, congrats otherwise.
But yeah, well done. I mean, no pressure. Fantastic. So congratulations, James. You were very close to get the jackpot, and this is like 4 Sharks. So we're gonna connect you after the event. So well done, and we're moving on to the next presenter, which is Julia Maleneva. Julia, you ready?
Yes, I am. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
That was such a pitch, right?
Yeah.
So nice to see you all from different time zones, and thank you very much for your time. And now I'm representing my team as the founder of standuppest.com. Standuppest.com is a website which went live a couple of days ago, and to serve for all stand-up and comedy shows globally. And our aim is to first act as skyscanner of stand-up shows and comedy shows globally. As the second phase, we are planning to start live streaming for semi-celebrity and rising stars in this world. And as the next step, we are planning to be the Twitch of this vertical, actually. So for the time being, we are a team of 9, and we are trying to raise $200K with a pre-money valuation. 80% of this amount will be spent for marketing, and 20% of this amount will be spent in development and operations. And that's it, very briefly. Let me answer your questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Right on time. Yes, Sharks, your questions.
I'm sorry, is this like Movie Pass except for clubs? Is that what what do you, I mean, what am I, okay. What's
StandUpPass.com? Yes, it's a platform for stand-up and comedy shows. It's a website, and currently we are selling tickets.
Digital events or for the physical events?
True, exactly. Yes, it is.
Okay, wait, so both? No, I'm sorry. Digital and physical, or what? I'm sorry, I didn't quite get it.
Okay, let me explain like this. There are semi-celebrity or rising stars in comedy shows and as stand-up professionals, but they only can sell tickets for their offline events. Right. And with Stand-Up Pass, people from other cities or other countries can pay and watch their live show from their houses.
Okay, so you put a camera in the club. You put a camera in the club.
Yes.
That's what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay.
And then as the third stage, let's say I think I'm a funny person, I have my jokes, I can start a live show and let people donate to me if I'm successful.
Okay. Okay. I get it. Okay. All right. And as a side note, by the way, when you're pitching, don't say you are trying to raise $200,000. Say you are raising $200,000. Okay, just a side note. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Excuse my English.
I know that's unfair. Okay.
Are there more questions from the Sharks?
So I'm gonna be out. I like the idea. I like stand-up comedy. It's a bit too niche for me. I just don't see this blowing up into a really big market. But I definitely wish you the best. Just one small piece of feedback on your background, the wallpaper that you use. Stand-up Pass is backwards, so you'll need to change the mirror setting because you're probably having dozens of these conversations. I hope. Make sure they can see Stand-up Pass so they can see it. Save them the step of having to backwards induce it and then type it in. Because I went to the website. The website looks great, but just like show me what it is. So change the mirror settings.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, awesome feedback.
Yeah, I'm also just a little bit hesitant as I love going to live shows, and I think a lot of people do, and I think the magic of that might not be captured in an online setting like that. And then there's obviously applications like Comedy Night, which you can just download on Steam, where you can kind of portray yourself in a virtual setting, metaverse like, so to say. So I think this is also a bit too niche for me to be more interested.
All right.
So I have to say, might be too niche. So how big can this be? Honestly, even though I like comedy, so.
I mean, guys, wait, if Twitch was $1 billion, right? I mean, you think comedy is smaller than watching somebody play a game?
Well, I guess the next question would be, why not use Twitch?
Sorry?
Why not use Twitch to live stream the Comedy Night?
We are planning, yes, that's the target. We are trying to be the Twitch of comedy shows, actually.
Well, because they got to get a camera in there somewhere, right? I mean, so.
By the way, you can partner or you can reach out to 360 VUZ and their platform. There might be some overlap. They're not focusing on comedies, but they're actually recording different types of shows, and mainly their strategies focusing on football. So they're pretty successful in the space, but generally speaking, might be an interesting partnership opportunity for us. It's a bit too niche. There are a few players in the UK that have tried to do the same, couldn't really raise that much. But the main question from VC perspective was, as you're growing, if you're successful, especially let's say raising seed and Series A, what is the exit scenario? Given that potentially you would face competition by Netflix or some of the big platforms launching their own comedy shows, and potentially providing similar opportunities. Obviously not direct competition, but still they're operating in the space.
Very nice question. Thank you very much for this. We started from Turkey, Istanbul, because our network is the biggest here in Istanbul, Turkey, regarding comedy shows and stand-up professionals. So currently we are in touch with Exen. It's like Netflix of Turkey, let me say. And they cannot do it right now because it's another concentration. Now we started to build this community, and we are having this human touch and getting support from stand-up professionals. That's where we started from. So let's say we want to be Twitch or Netflix. It's like fighting against Instagram. Like you're starting from scratch, and the competition is big. So that's why we choose this vertical to be niche to begin with, and then we are planning to grow. And that was the target.
Yeah, of course. No, actually, Turkey is a great market. I think in the UK, there were a few specific, I wouldn't say even websites, they were basically platforms launching the same service, but then Netflix is working on it. They already have a comedy section with pre-recorded comedy shows, as well as Apple and I think Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken. But I think the Turkish market / CE is slightly different.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. We got to move on. We have lots of entrepreneurs willing to pitch. Julia, great job.
Thank you very much.
Love the comedy. Keep doing this. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you.
The next person to present is Brad Jones. Brad, you there? Ready?
Yes. Hello.
2 minutes. Go for it.
All right. I will start my stopwatch then. Hi, everybody. I am the founder and CTO of Meet Kinksters, Submit to Love. We are trying to solve the loneliness epidemic worldwide by empowering relationships that are both sexually and romantically compatible. And this is a market segment in the broader dating market that unfortunately is really not served currently because mainstream dating apps actively dissuade any expression of your sexual side in an effort to be all things to all people. But on the other side of the spectrum, you have hookup apps, which basically negate the rest of your personality and reduce you to just looking for sex. The total addressable market for this is very large. That's a common concern that institutional capital has. But 50% of Americans, for instance, express having not vanilla sexual preferences, and 1 in 5 Americans has experience with non-monogamy, and almost 46% of Americans are single. This is also unique in the dating market because we have a beachhead into a market that is not just about the social discovery and dating component. So in dating, a lot of times a help customer is a lost customer, but this is a market that is eagerly looking for education and help with self-discovery that is unique in the dating market. We have traction. I have 2,500 fully registered spam filtered users on 0 marketing budget. It's been entirely bootstrapped by myself, and I'm raising a seed round to target on some specific geographies to overcome that cold start problem and get some network effects in target markets around the West and Western Europe. I'll take any questions.
Perfect. Right on time. Thank you so much. Dear Sharks, your questions.
So tell us a little bit of how you've gotten these 2,500 users with 0 marketing. How are they finding you? How are you getting word out? And which markets are you focused in currently?
Sure. So part of that, I think, is because this is a market that is underserved. So if you are looking for a product like this, like I'm solving my own problem, right? I have a lot of domain knowledge in this. You're going to find me because there's not a whole lot of competition in this space, but it's mostly through App Store discovery. But I'll also say that I'm unique in the current dating market in that I'm also on web, which enables me to do things like affiliate marketing and other kind of industry partnerships that a lot of apps that are apps only can't do.
Okay. Anyone else?
Can you tell me a bit about the main focus of what you're building? You mentioned education as well. So what's sort of the primary focus of the solution?
Yes, I mean the primary focus, right, is a dating app. Okay, it's a way for people. Basically, the premise here is that if you are, and there's a few demographics to which this applies. If you are sexually self-actualized, right, like you're out of maybe a loveless, sexless marriage for a long time, that kind of thing, and you realize that to be happy in a relationship, and there's lots of studies that show that sexual compatibility is a main component of relationship happiness, right? It's a dating app. But what I'm saying is, and the reason why you say beachhead is that in this market, so many of my early users come on and say, I'm curious. I had an experience that opened my eyes to this world and I want to learn more, right? So like I'm having conversations and we'll soon launch a cross-selling partnership with, for instance, kink.com, which is a well-known brand in this space, has an entire educational library that's not traditional porn, right? That's like how to negotiate with your partner, how to have these experiences in a safe way. So these users aren't just looking for a relationship, they're looking to explore that whole part of their identity.
All right, thank you. Anyone of the Sharks interested to connect?
Let me just say I'm not, and I'll tell you why. I love it. You're breaking new ground and you're breaking down a taboo, both which are very difficult to do. So I admire your intrepidity. Keep at it, and I hope you prove me wrong. I really hope this blows up, because it either goes to zero, this could become really big, and it all comes down to what you said. It's the network effects, but it's just you have to get the network effects and sub-network effects within each market geographically, because I want the person that I'm hooking up with to be, within a certain mile radius. I'm not driving 500 miles for it, my kinks. And you also need to match the kinks. You need to get like the special interests aligned, because if I'm into one kind of thing, someone else is into something totally different, you're not going to get enough matches. So the bar is so high to make so many things align. I could be wrong. You know the space much better than I do, and I hope you prove me wrong, but it's just too early for me. If you continue successfully, count me in for downstream rounds.
Thank you so much. That's already very interesting. So potentially you may connect with Yev Gelfand. All right, thank you. Appreciate that. So if no more questions from the Sharks, we'll be moving on to the next startup, which is Agnieszka. Sorry if I pronounced not correctly. Agnieszka Kukalowicz. Probably it's a Polish name, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Agnieszka from QTravel AI from Poland.
Awesome.
QTravel.ai is ChatGPT like travel search for travel companies. Did you know that travel search has not changed for almost 20 years? We can only choose destination, number of people, and duration of stay, but we don't plan holidays that way. We often spend a lot of time on travel websites looking for inspiration and offers, but we are very disappointed with search result. On the other hand, travel providers have problem with searching in large volume travel data, and they don't have enough skills to implement AI-based search solution because they don't have knowledge about AI or NLP algorithms. Our product, Travel Search as a Service, by allowing to search in natural language way, like Google or ChatGPT way, solves problems of travelers and travel providers. We know that AI technologies are becoming more and more important in travel because COVID and ChatGPT recently changed consumers' travelers' habits. Our first paying customers are tour operators from Poland, but now we are focusing on global markets like USA or UK. Our solution can be used by travel companies like tour operators, travel agencies, tours and activities providers, destination management organization, or hotel chains. There are some such solutions on the market, for example, Algolia, Clevo, Inventa, Coveo, but they are not good enough for travel companies, for travel data, because they are not optimized for travel data that are complex, high volume, and in real time. They are often updated in real time. Our business model is similar to e-commerce search as a service solution. We have plans that depends on number of requests to our search engine. We have almost 20 years of experience in IT, big data, AI, and NLP, and we also work in travel agencies in Poland, so we know what are problems of travelers and customers.
Agnieszka, please wrap this up. It's your past time, so a few more seconds. Please wrap this up.
So we have obtained almost 2 million euro in funding from the European Union for earning grants. And now we are looking for 2 million euros in funds to accelerate our growth and product development.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Sharks, your questions.
Hi, Agnieszka. Thank you for the presentation. I love to travel. It's probably my biggest passion, so I absolutely see a need for this. Tell me why Google and Bard are not going to absolutely eat your lunch in this space.
You know, we provide search solution for travel companies that can be implemented on their websites. There is no solution from Google that the travel companies can use on their website. We provide them API interface to search in natural language way like Google, and the search is implemented on their own data. So travel companies push us the data, pricing, hotels description, other things connected with traveling, and we index this data and then provide them API with NLP interface to search in this data.
So that's fair, but isn't Bard currently working on those same API integrations into other flight distributors, travel agencies, or what? Tell me what restricts Bard from doing the same thing.
As far as I know, travel companies like tour operators don't cooperate with this kind of companies because they can push their data to Google or other meta searches and other companies, OTAs or global distribution systems, but these companies don't provide them the search on their website. So we can do this only for them.
Okay, I'll cede the floor to the other Sharks.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So forgive me if I missed it, but where are you now in terms of traction? How many agencies do you have onboarded?
We have just launched MVP product, but we have paying customers in Poland, tour operators. They are top tour operators in Poland, and we are working in implementing this solution for 5 other tour operators in Poland. And we now want to scale to other markets like USA and UK market, English language markets mostly.
Okay, so
you've started paying customers, so we have 200,000 euros revenues in 2022.
2022. Okay, and is that GMV or is that your commission?
This is our commission.
Okay. All right. Good.
And in 2023?
It will be circa about 2 times, so we grow 100% by year over year.
I think it would be interesting for me to hear a little bit more about the long-term game. What's the strategy in the long run? Where do you want this to be in around 5 years?
So we want to be on the markets, English markets. So USA, UK, Australia, Canada, West Europe markets, because there is a big, huge tour operators market. And we want to provide this solution mostly for travel companies like tour operators and travel agencies. In Europe, this is almost 100,000 companies, for example. But then we want to focus on other travel segments, for example, tours and activities providers. This is quite different segment of travel companies, and destination management organization.
Ja, dziękuję bardzo.
Dziękuję.
Right. So, dear Sharks, anyone of you interested to connect with Agnieszka? Okay.
Well, okay. I mean, I think maybe I'm almost there, but yeah. I would like to find out a little bit more. If you could share share your deck, that would be great.
Okay.
I'm also curious to learn a bit more. Yeah.
I didn't catch that, so sorry about asking again. Connecting, Bill, and
Curious to learn more.
Sharks Lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we're moving on. Thank you, Agnieszka. Great presentation.
Thank you very much.
And we're moving on to the next project, John Mierwa. John from PaintScan. You ready?
I'm ready. Thank you.
You got 2 minutes.
Thank you, Daniel and GGW. We appreciate it. And Sharks, good afternoon, or whatever time it is where you are. I'm John Mierswa with PainScan. PainScan displays pain in 3D so doctors can better diagnose and treat their patients. We're focused on people with chronic pain, which is affects 1 in 5 adults. So we're talking about more than 50 million adults in the US and 1 billion people worldwide. Our differentiator from the typical healthcare experience, certainly in the US, is we listen to our patients, we help them learn about their pain, and we provide a hopeful experience. Chronic pain is misdiagnosed 40 to 80% of the time, which leads to lots of pain, suffering, money, and really it's for the patients and their families. Some of the typical quotes from chronic pain journeys: the pain is like carrying a huge luggage full of rocks and it's always there. Chronic pain patients spend about $4,500 more a year than other patients. We do this with an exam. It's a hands-on exam with a clinician that we work with the patient to understand their pain, and then we capture that and display it. And I know it's hard to do something visual like this, but this is an example of a patient's pain patterns. He complained of knee pain, but you can see the red is high pain, yellow is medium pain, that the pain is pretty much everywhere except in his knee. So we have, my co-founder is a doctor. He runs a medical office. We're here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We will set up brick and mortar. We'll lease a storefront, create PainScan Center, and then by nature, the patients need treatments also. So we'll offer also some therapies inside the building. We're seeking.
You pass time? Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
1.5
pre-seed with 2 tranches of 200, 400, 900. I'll take any questions. Thank you. Sorry about the overtime.
Thank you, John. No problem. Dear Sharks, your questions.
So sorry if I missed it, but tell me about what's proprietary here, because I totally get the pain point, not to pun, but like it's important. I get it. How are you doing it, or what are the clinicians doing? How are you getting that mapping, and what's proprietary to you?
Sure. We do have 1 patent awarded already about referred pain patterns. We've submitted 2 more patents as far as the IP side. It's an in-person exam where the clinician is noting where on the body each palpation or touch is occurring on the patient. And so we capture where on the 3D digital twin of the patient that is occurring. And then we capture their pain, both verbally, they tell us how much pain, and we have a device that the patient can silently let our system know. It's a squeeze device that they'll let us know the pain level. And so we put that into the visual, which is a 3D digital twin with those pain patterns displayed. And then if you can imagine it longitudinally, a baseline pain scan exam, and then as you get diagnosed and get into therapies over time, ideally those pain patterns are going to change for the better over time with that patient.
I think I'm being dense, so maybe the other sharks understand better than I do. But
We're, John, we're struggling here to try to understand, okay, I think we get mapping, but then so what? So how does that improve diagnosis? How does it improve therapy? How does it improve my psychology? I mean, we're not quite getting, sort of how that translates into a value proposition for the patient and for the clinician.
Sure. Thanks, Bill. Great question. So currently the doctor essentially does an interview with the patient. Tell me about your pain from a 0 to 10 scale. That doesn't provide any location of the pain on the body. We're providing an image that's a 3D image that can show the pain patterns. And so we'll also show the adjacent anatomy as another layer, so that the clinician can definitely then tell, okay, here's the musculature, et cetera. And so this is what would likely be, these conditions would likely be causing these kind of pain patterns. Over time, we'll also add in diagnostic suggestions as we have analytics to go along with this, with multiple pain scan exams, and therapy suggestions as well for the clinicians. Does that answer your question?
So I blew out my L4, L5 vertebra, right? And I don't know that you're going to help my clinician. I mean, right? It's
that specific example. Radiology would really handle that example, because you'd be able to see that. We're looking at really the surface and the musculature, which radiology does not capture. So it's a blind spot in healthcare.
Clarify what your target here is. So again, I'm not smart enough about chronic pain other than my own, right? To know what your target is, because it ain't me. So who is it? Who is it's myalgia or what? Whatever. What's that term? I can't remember. But
that is one. Fibromyalgia. Arthritis is another one. Oftentimes there's co-occurring pain around arthritis that people don't realize, and when they can get proper diagnosis, which is the key, then they can get relevant therapies and help reduce their overall pain burden.
Okay. I mean, just in terms of how you're telling the story, I mean, you got to help us understand what type of pain is misdiagnosed, because again, anecdotally, I don't know the rest of my colleagues here, but anecdotally, it didn't seem like in my case that was the issue. But there are situations that I don't know about that I think you need to make it clearer why this is useful in terms of diagnosis.
I appreciate that, Bill.
Therapy and outcomes. So, but okay.
And another example is sometimes back pain actually does manifest as abdominal pain, and people go get to the ER and they get radiology workups, and it turns out to be back pain that's radiating around. That's actually not an uncommon scenario at all. Those kind of things my co-founder sees in his medical office every day. And so this is where that came from. He invented it because he sees these conditions in his patients every day.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Also, just from my side, quickly, a word that stuck with me was the word hopeful. I think when we're at the stage where somebody just identified the pain themselves, the word hopeful without a specific medical diagnosis could be misleading, and they could lead to issues in the future. It's just a thought that I had as well. But if you could talk, maybe I'm misunderstanding it. So maybe if you could talk just quickly more, but what do you mean by hopeful outlook?
One thing that chronic pain patients do is suffer from despair a lot of times, because they do not get diagnosed correctly, and they spend a lot of time and money. They miss work, all of the things that happen. Depression is a very real problem, and suicide. And so to better learn their own body and their own pain and visualize that themselves will be a hopeful experience for them. And also when they go to their doctor and share this pain scan exam with them, it's the plan is that their doctor will be better able to diagnose them correctly, rather than either prescribing opiates, which we all know is a huge problem, or just essentially kind of a shotgun approach to guessing at what the diagnosis might be without having those pain patterns. visible to them.
How will you make sure that the doctors use your solution in their diagnosis?
Right. That's the go-to-market. We're starting with patients and patients here in the medical office, and then we are reaching out to doctors as well, professional associations. It will be we'll get them to know what pain scan exams are, so that really it will take them less time to look at an image, a 3D image, than to do an interview with the patient. So the idea is that it'll actually help them and save them time rather than introducing another thing to their workflow that might slow them down. So
all right, we gotta move on. We have lots of entrepreneurs willing to pitch, and we have just 20 minutes left.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Before you go, are there any sharks interested to connect with you? Just asking the sharks. Okay, thank you for the presentation and the job you're doing. Amazing, and yeah, stay here and network in the chat. Next one is Daniel Gutko. Daniel, you there?
Yeah.
Go for it. 2 minutes.
Hi, my name is Dan. I'm CEO and founder of the Dogs AI. I'm sixth-time founder previously, and had 2 successful exits. So here in the Dogs, we are doing document drafts and generative AI for legal tech, and we are on on the goal to help 30 million plus companies to save money and time on document drafting. Last year, more than $500 billion was spent on manual document drafting in only US. So we believe that our solution can save up to 80% or even more on document drafting by implementing our solution. So it's a $1 trillion market, and our obtainable market for the next 4 or 5 years is $2.7 billion. It's a budget of approximately 1,000 clients who has dedicated specialist, procurement department, sales department, who usually draft documents on a daily basis. So we developed LLM system, and we have two products. It's a SaaS service and on-premise solution that we already signed first contracts for the pilot projects. We launched 52 days ago, and we have more than 1,000 users on our SaaS platform at the moment. So we're raising seed round to $1.2 million, and we have several investors committed. We are looking for the lead investor, and happy to connect.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Yes, Sharks, your questions.
Yeah, so Daniel, I mean, there are lots and lots of these teams that are trying to do something that sounds very, very similar. I need you to, explain how it is that you're doing something that leapfrogs all the other guys that are trying to, provide AI doc generation.
Yeah, a lot of competitors actually doing kind of chat with the documents type of solutions, and we are doing like a solution for the first step of this process. So we are drafting documents from the scratch from the patterns that been trained using company standards or historical documents. So we're doing like the first major step to completing the process of negotiating the contract, of the version control, etc., etc. So we're focused on the first major steps of the process, where actually the biggest time losses happen.
The initial drafting, is that what you're saying? Versus, that's what you're targeting. Okay.
I need to get a little bit more specific to sink my teeth into this. What kind of documents? Can you give a few examples of actually like what kind of documents you're doing this for, and which LLMs you're tethered to? Because I assume you're not building your own LLM. Like which LLMs are you calling right now?
okay, for documents types, procurement deals documents, MOUs, NDAs, employment contracts, different letters, different agreements, service contracts, almost anything. And we started to play around with OpenAI and Google Bard. Then we switched to open source LLMs, and we have fine-tuned our like a mix of several LLMs. We fine-tuned it for several times, and right now we have customized solution that been trained kind of on a daily basis. So we're evolving it each day, each week.
Okay.
So we're in negotiating with the Citibank and Emirates NBD, the biggest bank in GCC countries. We signed first deal with our on-premise solution client, and we are continuously improving our service in SaaS direction.
Okay, so is the idea that I as a law firm, I upload my templates and train the model on sort of my templates, and then as each transaction comes along, I tell the system, you know, the variables associated with this transaction, and then it spits out a document. Is that roughly what?
This is the one way, yeah. This is one way how we can do it, and the second way, you just can go to our website and try to draft from the scratch some simple documents.
So you've already loaded in a bunch of templates. You've already trained your model.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So you've got all these categories of document that you've trained it on with your templates. And then I can just tell the system what the variables are for this transaction, and it'll spit out a document, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And can I try it now? I mean, is there a quick demo? So what's
you can go to the website and dodocs.ai. Dodocs.ai.
What?
Dodocs.ai.
Yeah, you can.
DOX DOCA?
No. DODOCS.ai. DODOCS.ai.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any sharks interested to connect? So Bill, he put the website here in the chat.
It's in the chat now. Okay.
Yeah.
Very quick question here. Does the platform offers any analysis of documents that have been uploaded, or is it just generation of new documents?
Yeah, good question. It's not yet available. It will be the second feature. We are working on it, and will be released in upcoming months, I guess. Yeah, so it will be like
yeah, which markets are you actually looking to focus on? Because I looked at a few deals in the UK, but they already offered that analytical component. And realistically, they were also linked to different types of law. Obviously, they'll specialize in, let's say, contracts, but they will have access to the regulatory data as well. So they can feed in some additional data into those contracts. So I'm just wondering where you're looking to position.
North America. North America is our primary market.
Okay.
My final question to the Sharks. Anyone of you interested to connect with this team?
Well, I'll take a look and I'll let you know if this makes sense for us.
Okay, so Bill will reach out to us, and if interested, we will connect. Perfect.
I love the space. It's just too crowded for me. I've met with 5 different companies, invested in 2 of them in just the last 6 weeks. So it's just too crowded. It's hard to tell who's going to be the winner.
It's getting more hype.
Okay, thank you so much. We probably take one last question for
Thank
today,
you.
and the rest, please reach out to my team to pitch the next event. So the next final presenter for today is Eugen Poznikov. And let's make it within 5 minutes, so we let the investors to close this session today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's difficult to be first. It's also difficult to be last after 2 hours. So thanks for having me. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of Cybex, cybex.io. We are a provider of healthcare IT solutions in the US market, specifically focused on care collaboration. And through interoperability and workflow solutions that we've built and continue building. We have a SaaS platform right now that connects a variety of EMRs here in the US market. We are completely bootstrapped, have been operating for 5 years. Today, we focus in the 4.3 trillion market, in healthcare market. We're specifically focused on what's called the long-term post-acute care and ambulatory space, which has a combined volume of about 1.4, 1.5 trillion in volume. We have a team of 12 people today, and we are generating revenue. The checks range from very basic $450, $300, $450 a month, small practices, to over $10,000 a month from larger medical groups that are integrating between need integration between different EMRs. We are raising $1 million round to go after the expansion of the marketplace that we have. Most of it focused on sales and marketing and also on engineering to develop additional tools that we plan to roll out. The company has been operating either at break even or sometimes profitable in some quarters. And we just see this as an expansion opportunity because the long-term care market is expanding with the population getting older. So that's my short pitch.
Well done, right on time. Thank you, Eugene. Great presentation. Dear Sharks, your questions.
Quick question when it comes to competitive advantages. As I looked into the space in the US, but it's fairly saturated with a number of players, very fragmented market. Also heavily depends on the healthcare providers those companies partner with. A lot of them who have been very successful, they've got government contracts, or at least contracts at state level. So can you please just elaborate a bit more?
Sure. Most of the companies who are the early entrants are focusing on connectivity. You know, for all intended purposes, we'll look at them as mostly plumbing, and their competitive advantage is eat everybody else's lunch, and it's a more of a cost and market share opportunity for us. As coming in a little bit later in the stage, we are focused on care collaboration and specifically building the relationships with medical groups that require not just the connection, but also the front-end development. Number one, we're also getting involved in analytics right now because we have access to the data, and the trusted relationship that we've built allows us to get into the analytics and now into the artificial intelligence space. As I've mentioned, we are building also our front-end tools based on chat and workflow, which is something that the current EMRs are not able to implement themselves or don't want to. So we partner with them. Actually, they're promoting us to their customer base. Companies like Athena Health, Point Click Care, Matrix Care are our key partners today, and we plan to expand that.
Okay. Yeah, are there more questions from the Sharks before we finish this session?
Yeah, I think a question I had was a bit more around how do you mitigate issues related to data privacy?
That's a conversation for like half an hour at least. But fundamentally, we are running on top of GCP, Google. So we leverage a lot of their health cloud, what they have, and so we are HIPAA compliant. That way, we provide high trust certification when we go into an engagement. So it's both a technical and legal mitigation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are there any Sharks interested to connect with Eugene about their project? Okay.
I'm gonna check out your website and bounce it off some of our colleagues to see if this is relevant, but it's I think I get what you're up to. And you know, one of the issues that we see is this is noisy in the US, but there are a lot of places around the world that need to solve this problem. I'm not sure what your appetite is for going to other parts of the world and how easy or hard that might be. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'll take a look and let you know. Okay.
Thanks, Ben. Thank you.
Okay, Bill, just let me know if you're interested. Yeah, we will connect. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. If no more questions from the Sharks, then this is the time when we close the session. This has been 2 hours we were together. Thank you, Eugene, for your presentation. It was great. So the guys, you've done, all of you have done a great job, and there was a lot of demand to pitch today, and of course it was not enough time always. So my team will take care of you. So just reach out to my team to put you in a priority for next events, or subscribe to the platform so that you have priority as well. And with that said, I think we nailed it. It was the GGW 30th event, and it was fantastic. So many great projects and great feedback from our Sharks. And with that said, I would like our Sharks, our investors, to close the sessions with whatever you have on your heart and mind to share with entrepreneurs as your final words of wisdom, your final feedback or recommendation, whatever you want to say. Let's do that. Let's share some love as well. David, you want to go first?
Yeah, so thanks everybody. It's pretty dark outside here. It's roughly 9 o'clock here in Germany. So also I want to thank all the entrepreneurs that are so enthusiastic and full of energy for the projects. And I think, at least from my side, if I can provide any feedback, and even if it's a negative one, if I'm not investing, I think you should, of course, still be pursuing the things, because you're the experts in the end, and you need to prove things, right? And obviously, even if it's a no, prove anyone wrong.
All right. Thank you so much, David. Great to have you. Hope to see you again. Nadia, would you go next?
Many thanks actually for everybody who participated tonight. Actually, it's nearly 8 o'clock in London. Maybe just slightly on the constructive side, constructive feedback to everyone who pitched today. 2 minutes is very short period of time to actually describe the model, tell us what the business model is, what the product is, customer base. So if you try to be slightly more structured and just segment it in, let's say, 5 categories. First, what exactly the company does, when it was founded, what markets does it operate, customers, and maybe slightly focus a bit more on the traction or financials, so we don't really have to ask and roughly what amount you are raising. It will just give us a bit more guidance of whether the startup is relevant to us, and also it will provide a bit more structure.
Thank you so much, Nadia. We'll be excited to have you again on our future events as well. Bill Reichert.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, it's high noon here in Silicon Valley. So it's been fun, having such a global group here today. And, thanks to all the entrepreneurs and for their hard work and patience. Generally I like to offer, whatever hot tips are. Today, one of the things that happened today, I noticed it seemed to be a pattern fairly consistently, is the challenges that almost every entrepreneur is pitching something that we've all heard before. And that's, you may not appreciate that, VCs, having heard thousands of pitches, we think, we've heard it before. We think we've heard it before. We think we've heard the same thing. It may not be the same thing. But what we didn't get today, as well as would have helped, is please, when you're in a space that's already, pretty crowded, again, understand our perspective versus yours. Make sure you are clear on how you are different from all of the competition. Because so many of these deals, we all felt it was, wow, this has already been done. It's crowded, it's noisy. So you've got to make sure that you say, you may have seen other companies that are doing this, but unlike all of those other companies, what we are doing that nobody else is doing, or right. So make sure you put that package in your pitch. especially if it doesn't seem like, especially if there are lots of people, particularly in Silicon Valley or Western Europe, that are already doing this. So that's my hot tip for the day. So thank you, everyone.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, Bill, and always great to have you with us. And I'm, by the way, also in Silicon Valley. So yeah, it's quite bright in here. Yev, would you like to go next? Share your wisdom?
I'll close with what I started with, Daniel. Thank you for having us, because I love this event, and I love that you bring the community together. I always learn from things like this. I learned from my fellow Sharks here on the panel, so thanks to you. And of course, I said it before, to these intrepid entrepreneurs. We don't exist if you don't exist. Love what you guys are doing, because it's an impossible task, especially, as Nadia said, in like 2 minutes. How do you do that? So to those of you that got a deal today, or at least a thumbs up, great, follow through, and best of luck. Those that didn't, don't get discouraged. In fact, prove me wrong. I say this all the time. People say you're full of it, but I really mean it. I love being proven wrong by entrepreneurs. Make me eat my hat. Come back to me in a future round and say, yeah, remember you passed on me? You didn't believe at the time, or you weren't ready? Well, look at me now. Look at my traction, and make me pay 3-4x the valuation for it.
Love it. That's kind of a goal for many entrepreneurs. Yeah, prove them wrong, guys. Yeah, and Nils, you're closing this final session. Any words of wisdom on entrepreneurs? Would love to hear from you. No pressure, but it's really awesome to hear from you.
Yeah, no pressure typically tends to create pressure. So I really appreciate everybody's input. I just want to echo what everybody else said before me. I think it's important to just sometimes, be humble and just be extremely straight to the point. The simpler the better a lot of the time, especially if you only have 2 minutes, right? So just pretend that everybody else is dumb. You're obviously the expert in what you're building. So just explain it plain and simple, so that after 1 or 2 sentences we clearly understand what you're building, and then build on top of that with whatever you would like to add. Otherwise, if there's anybody that that might be interested in starting a company, but needs to remove the barriers related to entrepreneurship, refer them to Antler, where they're zero investor. It would be great to see some of you or your colleagues in the future. But yeah, thanks for the invitation. It was a great event.
Great closing, Neil. Appreciate that. So thank you, Yev. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, David. And thank you, Bill. Everyone, you did a great job. It was the 30th event so far, and we keep counting. Please keep supporting us on social media, so we don't pay Google and Facebook for just simple advertising or something, because great entrepreneurs can share with other great entrepreneurs, and we'll have amazing audience in here. I shared our next event here in the chat, so you can RSVP for the next one. Email me or my team about pitching, and we also shared our Google form, so you can give us feedback how we can improve to make it even better for you. Then with that said, have a great rest of the day, great night, and stay in touch with us. Have a good one, and have a great the rest of this week. Take care. Goodbyes.